Hey guys, another day with another Vevor tool review, since you guys really like it. In this video, I'm going to review this Vevor all-swivel mobile base. Let's go! This is my Delta DJ20 joiner that I restored a while back. Fun fact, it's the first video on my channel. This jointer sits right next to the wall, meaning that if I need to use the full capacity, I can't. So when I want to use this jointer, I have to move it away from the wall. This jointer sits on a mobile base, but as you guys can see, only two of the wheels swivel, and also it's a little bit bent. And this is how it looks like when I need to move the jointer. And that is why I got this all-swivel mobile base, because, well, all four wheels swivels, meaning that hopefully I can move my jointer a lot easier. But I already know that there will be a problem, because all mobile base in the market are designed to carry table saw, which is square, or smaller machinery like bandsaw. I haven't found anything that's really designed for jointer, but I might have a solution or workaround for this, so we'll see. First of all, let's unbox this thing. Hey, this is Yoso from the future. The reason why you guys see me here right now is because I accidentally deleted the footage of me unboxing this mobile base. But you guys are not missing much anyways, because it's literally just me cutting open the box and taking out the content. So we're going to jump to that. But before that, I would like to mention that I bought this mobile base with my own money, but the link that you guys see down below is affiliate link. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video so far, please subscribe. Alright, let's go back to the video. Now that we have everything out on this table, this is a pretty standard mobile base design. It has 4 different corners where you install the wheel and the brake, and you can put these rails in between the corners to make the mobile base. In terms of the quality, let me show you guys up close. This is really thick steel. I think this is about 1/8 inch steel. And also, this corner is welded really nicely. Well, at least for my standard, because I'm not a great welder. And the design is pretty cool because this is where you install the wheel. And the brake actually has this spring on it. So it's really cool. I can see this working really well. This is the rail. I measured it. I think this is 2.5 and 1 inch. I don't know how steel tube is measured. These rails are the reason why this mobile base don't work with my jointer out of the box. And that is because this long one is only about a little over 25 inch, 25.5, and the short one is about 20 inch. So the maximum dimension with these rails is about 25 or 24 by 20 inches, which will not work with the joiner because the joiner is 40 by 20, I think, if I remember correctly. So we need to replace that. But before I go out, let's try to assemble this thing and see how solid it is just out of the box. We started by assembling the corners. The wheels are pretty high quality. If you buy this separately, it's probably about $50 on Amazon for a set. So it's really great deal considering how much you pay for this mobile base. For the rails, this mobile base can be adjusted to different sizes. I'll put the minimum and maximum adjustability on the screen. For this first test, I will adjust this mobile base to fit this 1.5 inch thick plywood. You'll see why in a moment. This is how it looked like assembled. Now this mobile base is rated for 1500 pound. I don't know why anyone want to put 1500 pound of anything on a mobile base, but sure, I guess. Unfortunately, I don't have 1500 pound to test this mobile base, but I have 220 pound of muscle and regret. So let's try this mobile base with that. Well, I fulfilled my real-life Mario Kart fantasy and this mobile base rolls smoothly carrying my heavy bum around this uneven floor. Not bad. Now that we know what this mobile base can do out of the box, I'm going to disassemble it and buy a longer rail for my jointer. I think this base should work really well for it. Let's hope I can find the right steel tube for this. Alright, I just came back from the metal yard and I got 2 of these. As you guys can see, it's pretty rusty, but that's normal because I got these from metal recycling yard and they're really good deal. 2 of these cost me $13. I couldn't find steel tube that matches the original rail because, well, this is probably metric size tube and here in Canada we use freedom units. So the tube that I bought is slightly smaller. I think I can make this work though, we just need to shim the space. Alright, now that you guys saw the difference, all we need to do next is clean up the rust and paint it and tap holes into it before we can install it. So let's go. To clean the rust, I use angle grinder and 3M Scotch-Brite disc. This disc is pretty pricey, but I think it is the best to clean up rust and it lasts forever. I mean, look at that. It's very satisfying. For the paint, I just use glossy metal spray paint. Yes, I know you can spray paint over rust, but I just prefer to clean it before painting it for better result. For this extra space, I just 3D print a fitted shim. But Joseph, plastic is not going to be strong enough. Well, I'm going to tap a hole to bolt in the rail. That's where the strength going to be from. The shim is only to keep it from wiggling around. At least that's my current logic. We'll see if that works or not. Before drilling or tapping any holes, I'm going to dry fit the rail to make sure that everything fit. Did you guys know the term dry fit comes from plumber fitting all the pipes before running anything? Hence why it's called dry fit, because no water inside the pipe yet. I totally just made that up, by the way. We are using the original rail for the short side. You can use the pre-drilled holes for reference to make sure that both short sides are the same length. One thing I noticed, even though the holes are aligned in the middle, the left and the right side sets can be different. So if you can't make the hole reference to be the same between the two sides, this one and on the other side, then what you want to do is you can try switching the holes by flipping the rail. For the long side, there's no reference holes. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that these two rails are the same length. You can check by measuring the length of the rails and make sure that they're the same. And you can also measure the diagonal length and make sure that they are the same. Next, you want to mark where to drill the holes. Get yourself a silver marker, like this one. Before you mark the hole, you need to mark every sides with number so you can put them back together and align them. And then you mark the hole. The locations of the holes are marked. Now we can take them apart and drill the holes. You want to start by drilling a pilot hole. To help you drill better, get yourself one of these tap fluid and also a good steel drill bit. Next step is for us to drill bigger hole from the pilot hole. We know that this bolt is M10, so we want to drill somewhere around 8 millimeters. If you guys use Freedom units, that's 5/16. For this, I usually like to use a step drill bit like this guy. We're finally ready to tap the thread into the hole. I got this cheap tap and die set from Vevor. It's not the best, but it works for occasional uses. There are a lot of tap. To know which one to use, take this measuring tools that comes with the set. Let's focus that. And then measure it against the bolt that comes with the mobile base. So I know for this one, this is 1.5. You guys can't see it, but I know that for this one, we're going to use M10 1.5 tap. All right, it's ready. Now to load that on this. This is going to be interesting. I'll be honest, I've been putting this off for too long because I wasn't sure how to move the joiner without disassembling it. Funny thing is, once I put my mind into it, ideas started coming. So here, I moved the joiner to the middle of the garage, and then I took off the front and back panels so I have somewhere to hold on to. Also, this morning, my neighbor threw out this pallet. So I'm going to lift the joiner off the old base onto the pallet and then drop it to the new base. I thought this will make it so much easier. But this is still a 300-pound joiner. So yeah, I struggled and struggled and struggled. God damn, all those deadlifts and squats were not that useful for this. Now that this jointer is on the pallet, it's time for the moment of truth, whether my measurement is correct or not. And it fit. Well, it's a little bit loose, but at this point, I refuse to wiggle lift this hunk of metal anywhere anymore. Now it's time to check if this mobile base is better than the old one. This is when I noticed that I need to tighten all the wheels. Once all the wheels are tight, this base rolls a lot better. I mean, look at that. It's so easy to push it against the wall and pull it out of the wall. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Once the brake is set up and engaged, it stays still. I'm excited for this. But for now, I'll tuck this jointer back in. It will need a calibration after all the moving abuse. Alright, we're at the end of the video, so it's conclusion time. This is the old mobile base that I used for a joiner. A lot of the mobile base at this price point are just variations of this style. The old mobile base comes with these rails, which is a lot thinner than the Vevors. And the old mobile base comes with this corner piece. It's quite hefty, but it's not quite as big and as thick as the Vevors. At the time of the video, Vevor Mobile base cost around $114. Grizzly, Bora, and Rockler have all swivel mobile base, but they all cost a little bit more than the Vevors. Also, they are all rated for less weight than the Vevor, which makes sense because probably all of them come with the sorry excuse of thin rails. Aside from the fact that the rail of the Vevors is not big enough for the joiner, it will cover most of the machinery that you have as a hobbyist. I'm pretty sure it will handle 6-inch jointer, it can handle table saw for sure, and you might even be able to use it for a drum sander or a floor standing planer. So in conclusion, I think Vevor delivered and are great value for the price. Now trust me, if you guys never put your heavy machinery on an all-swivel mobile base, it's a game changer, especially for a small shop like mine. So, go buy it. Bye!